All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I normally don't do stocks back to back to back, but obviously these are on the interesting side, right? So SoundHound and NNOX, all right, nano-x. I said if you watched on the last video, the entire day for both stocks would be dictated by volume. Volume was going to be king or queen for my ladies out there, and I believe that is exactly what happened. Now, ironically, this had more volume. SoundHound drops an incredible 118 million shares. NNOX, I think, was in the 40s. Yeah, drops 44 million, right? So clearly, SoundHound had more volume, but this had better volume. All right. Yesterday, we had, look in the volume box over there, the second to the bottom, we had 47 million. Today, we had 44. We essentially held 90% plus, right? This is a beautiful, obviously, if it was higher, it would be even prettier, right? But this is beautiful right here. SoundHound, look at that difference. SoundHound was near the 300s. We're near the 100s today. We essentially lost 66% of yesterday's volume. At the minimum, we lost well more than half of the volume. We're not even near 150, right? So though this had the bigger number, volume is what made this one not do as well as NNOX, who dropped the big 36. My cat's at the door. I'm so sorry. One second. What are you doing? All right, I'm recording. Okay, so again, volume is always, in my opinion, it's at the bottom of these indicators, but it's always top of mind for me, all right? Now, a lot of interesting things happening that I am still excited to talk about, but before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. I'm telling you, anything you can do helps so much with these algorithms, especially if you can click that share button. But just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it all right? So SoundHound, oh man, there's so much to talk about. I already touched on the volume in the beginning. I'll do it again just in case you fast forwarded, but let's come up here, all right? So on yesterday's video, my thought was essentially we were gonna break 4 and work our way up, or we were going to fall down to 316, all right? Instead, what did we get? This is essentially a doji, all right? So I am not a pattern trader. I'm not a wedge, head and shoulders, you know, I don't do any of that. I'm also not a candle pattern trader, right? However, the one thing that I've taken from that strategy, right, I respect the doji. All right, especially when it comes right after a monster 66% day. All right, so what is a doji? Look, a doji is essentially, and look in the box over there. All right, this thing opens at 370 and change, 372. It goes really high up, actually kissing my $4 resistance, right? Like there was a moment where this thing thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for the 4, I'm gonna break it, I wanna run towards the 5. And let's look back. There was a moment when this thing dropped hard, dropped down to below 340, making it feel like we're going to come down to 316. Instead, it basically closes about 10 cents over, and it just has a what I call a let's wait for tomorrow day. All right. And obviously Monday, there's no trading. All right. I have to work. So not a lot of people actually realize it was a holiday. So I myself am one of them. But Monday's President's Day. So we're waiting till Tuesday for anything to happen. Right. So this is a doji. This screams uncertainty. Are we going to 4? Are we coming here? You know what? Let's just sit and wait. I think after hours screams it as well. No one's doing anything. Yeah, a baby drop. That's insignificant for sure, right? people are waiting. I really think we're going to see a big confirmation. Again, it's my same exact thoughts. We're either going to break 4 or we're coming down to 316. It's hard for me to believe anything else, right? Because again, look, at this point too, let's talk about the moving averages, all right? We've been well under the 200 for a good while, right? Until September, until August. Let's be honest, it's this candle right here, the last day of August too. So end of August was really the last time we were anywhere nicely over the 200, all right? So a whole mess of nothing, and all of a sudden we get one candle over it and then a doji right after. This does not scream to me we've broken the 200 moving average just yet. I saw someone ask me, is this the confirmation I was looking for? No, this was not, all right? Number one, a doji never counts, so doji alone never can be confirmation. Number two, look, if we're gonna gap up over 66%, my expectation for confirmation was a lot closer to probably 430. I think maybe even 420 would have been relatively good confirmation, especially since yesterday closed at that 380 line, right? 375, whatever. So yeah, I would have needed to break that 4 and go up. Because essentially for me, I think right now this 4 is kind of that, I don't want to say that. That's a really dumb line. Never mind. This is the 2. That was dumb. Never mind. But yeah, I hope that at least, like, look, this is not a great candle over a line either. So if you see, we have two types, I mean, just right there, you can see it, right? I don't like green filled in, all right? Because green filled in means, and you can see it in the box over there, this opens at 4 and comes all the way down to 375, right? 376. More people lost 25 cents a share, you know, than they made anything, right? Like, I like days that go up, right? Like this opens at 203 and this closes at 226, right? So green filled in is not a good candle. It never is in my eyes. So that alone doesn't break it. Doji doesn't break it. I'm telling you, these two right here actually supersede the golden cross right here that I haven't mentioned yet. These two right here actually still make me concerned about 281. All right, I said that on the last video. I said if you're not worried about 281, hopefully you're a long and strong and you are holding down here in the 150s and stuff, and even 281 is a beautiful number for you, right? But if you're a flipper like I am, that could be a really bad drop for you, right? So yeah, there's still a lot of uncertainty. And then again, just kind of going back to where I started in the open, all right? Volume is a lot of the reason. Look, I saw, I think for most of the day, if not maybe even the entire day, SoundHound was the most volume of any stock. I'm not sure if anything traded more than 118 million shares today, all right? That includes a couple of the crazy runners that we saw today too that were over 200 at one point, right? So SoundHound might have been the biggest volume, but the drop from 300 all the way down to basically 100, that you're losing 2/3. You're throwing away 66%, maybe 60% if you want to just give that little 18 million some credit, right? But there was way too much volume given up. I'm surprised we didn't see something a little worse. I'm surprised we actually saw a green doji as opposed to a red doji. I don't think either would matter too much, but hey, I think there's a little bit of positive to at least end this with, saying yesterday did close at 370 something. We're at least at 380 something. But again, the doji is just so uncertain, so like lacking of confidence that you can't really use it much, all right? Again, I see the golden cross. Again, when a little one goes over a big one, that's called a golden cross, right? It's obviously a beautiful thing. Everyone loves gold, right? We had another one down here. I see it, right? But I think there's still a chance we come down towards the 8. I do, all right? Unless we can break 4 and close, like I said, around that 420, excuse me, dyslexic, around that 420, 430 number, all right? Beautiful MACD, little bit of a high RSI. I'm kind of ignoring these two right now. I am. I need a firmer candle, and then I need to see what volume does. Look, I don't think we're going to do this on Tuesday. I think it's hard to imagine we're going to go less than 118 million. It's obviously very possible because this thing was only pushing right 50 million before the Nvidia, BlackRock, someone mentioned SoftBank, right? Like this thing was a 50 million. So there's actually kind of a possibility that it does. Monday must, I can't stress it, it must break 118 million shares, all right? So if I want 120 million shares in a roughly 7-hour trading day, we better have over 18 million shares. This thing says 17, right? But give me 18 million shares in that first hour, all right? Otherwise, if we can't break this 118, I think that's going to be a real fast sign of us coming down, all right? So, yeah, I think that's a good view of the daily. Obviously, this is a good weekly, all right? Where the weekly is right now, there are no moving averages, all right? There is no 100. This thing has not been a stock for 100 weeks. There is no 100 moving average just yet, all right? This either confirms, what's your number? This says 455. This either comes to 455 by Friday, or, I mean, I think something in between these two is about half, and I think you can roughly say 316 is about half of that big candle. Maybe it's even something closer to 3, but yeah, I think we're either going to go to 450 or 3 by Friday. I think that's my best guess. Again, I know that looks good. I know that looks good. I know that looks good. All of that was driven by a single candle, all right? We have not in the hourly. We have a single candle moment on the daily. This was a single candle so far on the weekly. I need next week to confirm this. I do. And it's either going up or it's gonna go to like half or less, all right? There is a possibility, and I'll at least say it here. Look, 240 is a decent like maybe, because again, same thing I said with that 200. This 50 has been an impossibility since, I mean, this was the Friday, no one cares about that. June 30th was probably the last good candle, not even probably, it was the last good candle on the weekly over the 50. You can see it from there. The wall right there, the wall right there, wall right there. It breaks it this time. Let's see if it can confirm, all right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Again, for some people, 280 is still a beautiful number. And really, I haven't oh, wow, this is 240. It's that same weekly number. Get out of here, yeah? 240. Interesting. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the 200 just yet. Obviously, I did, talking about it on the weekly. If we were going to come down, again, hopefully the 8 catches it, all right? That's going to be the important part of this because that's how the moving averages work. Hopefully you can hit the 8 and bounce on it and hit the 8 and go, right? So we've gone away, maybe we come back to it and we go. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. SoundHound, let me know your thoughts. Even if you disagree, you know I am not here pretending to be the guru of gurus, all right? Let's take a look at NNOX. All right, a couple things. First off, and please, if you can subscribe, if you can share, oh my gosh, it does wonders for the algorithms here, all right? So, NNOX, I'm going to be honest. I was honest on the last video, and I'm still happy, all right? I sold about half of my shares yesterday, all right? I was a little bit worried that yesterday closed down here at 950. It was under the 200 moving average that was sitting at 983 right here, okay? To me, that was a beautiful day. It was still about 49%. I think I sold a little closer to the line once it looked like it was going to slip. But hey, nonetheless, all right, I basically took my profits off the table and left it. Someone on the Discord, all right, she actually found it. Where is she? I don't know where she's at right now. NNOX, you can see how many times we found it. Look, she didn't sell yesterday, all right? I gave her my reasoning. She gave me her reasoning. And end of the day, clearly she was more right than I was, right? But hey, look, even though I sold, I had the ability to buy once this thing opened over the over the 200 moving average. I had the ability to buy once it broke the 1145 line. Hell, even if I didn't buy anything, I still had some shares to ride up another 36% day, right? So believe me when I say I wish I held. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would have loved to double up my gains today, right? But again, just because I sold yesterday doesn't mean I couldn't buy today. And hey, my reasoning, like I said, was at least part of my strategy, right? This made a real big jump. And I even mentioned it on my last, so we were hunting NNOX for a while, all right? I gotta go back and all this stuff. I don't want to go do. We were hunting it, okay? Because you can see this 100 moving average line. We try to break it here, try to break it here, try to break it here. It looked like we were finally breaking it. There was a lot of red, 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 red to green, 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 green from the 100 to the 200. That was actually what I was going for, if you really want to know the truth, all right? It just did the crazy gap for the same reason SoundHound did, right? So to me, it made the trade I wanted to do. That's exactly what I bought it for. That's exactly where I would have sold it. Hey, I'm not sad. And again, today was interesting. But, all right, here's the but. We have not confirmed the 200 just yet, okay? Because again, yesterday closed under. Today definitely closed over and by a lot. I am not pretending it did not, right? We even smashed an 1145 line, right? And hopefully this will be a little bit of a support before we even have to worry about this again, right? But this is still just one good candle, all right? Let me talk about this candle, because obviously they're different colors, right? If you watch my videos enough, you know what this means. I do not like a green filled in candle. Look, this thing opens at 1242. You can see it's the second line in the box. And then it goes all the way down until it closes at that 950 number I've been saying. More people lost what? I'm going to do some bad math, but close to 20%. More people lost 20% than they actually made money on that gap up. All right. So this is not a good green candle. This one is. Today was, because today opens at 10. Today closes up here at almost 13. Today, most people should have made that 30% if you traded this, right? So today was the one good one over the 200. And again, remember, just zooming out, this is no, let's this, I think I'm going to call it this. This early June is probably the best candle, the last good candle over the 200, June 23, because after this, we essentially go down like a hot knife through butter, right? Like I know there was this little moment I thought about clicking here. Nah, it's this June one. And since then, this has been a very difficult, impossible line, right? I'm going to say it again. I traded this stock back in the IPO. I did. I remember smashing 60 and running. I do, all right? I like the technology. You know, it's crazy to think about. Nobody, not a single company has even thought about updating the x-ray machine since someone invented it back in the I don't even know when. Like, it's crazy to think about, right? We all go to the hospital, we all get x-rays, we go to the dentist, we get x-rays. There's a number of places where you get x-rays, right? No one's tried to do anything to improve it until this company came around. I loved that story. I did. Knock on wood, technicals matter more to me. And yeah, once we lost lines, I haven't thought about this thing in a while, but the tech seems interesting. It actually does. And I say this with love. I think AI still has a lot to go and a lot to prove. This is a medical device improvement that is worldwide accepted and worldwide used. And who wouldn't want to upgrade what they're using, right? Like, it just makes sense to me. People trust x-rays. People trust the results. Hey, if I'm a company that says I'm going to get you better ones, there's some interesting things there. And knock on wood, maybe this partnership, because NVIDIA, was it NVIDIA that said that they owned a little bit of NNOX? I think it was. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm like 90% it was NVIDIA. They might give them some better chips than they have right now, right? And like, there are doors that open when partnerships are made, right? And I don't think it's necessarily a partnership. It's just, you know, a share ownership. But hey, if they're owning some shares, they're rooting for them. And if they're rooting for them, they're probably going to want to help them a little bit, right? So, yeah, a little fundamental thrown into this because, again, I like the tech. If you have better info, let me know about the tech. The other thing that I actually do like is just, we'll leave it there. I think that's a good place to end it. Let's take a look at the weekly. Where are we on the weekly? Ooh. Oh man, I don't even think I realized this, and I'm in this one. Okay, this single candle, we were under them all right? Let me just click to the last week candle. There is no 200. We were sitting under all moving averages on the weekly. In a single week, we destroyed all the moving averages, all right? It seems like this is either, damn, that's real high. Hold on, let's make it this one. This is either, where are you? That's too low, right? Oh man, 14. Okay, this either comes to 1450 by Friday, or I think it's going to drop to 1020. I think that's the one too. It's either going to confirm it broke them all, or I got to believe the 100's going to hold it. And I say that because we've at least done this. And I'm like, there was a break, there was a confirmation. It just didn't hold. And I think that might be due to the NASDAQ. We're talking about June 23. Yeah, look at that. That was a little bit of a rough before a bigger drop. And I think if this was rough in June 23, this is Compass. Comp Q. Hold on. Oh, look at that. It was going up in June. Interesting. I wonder why that was going down so hard right there. Regardless, I like the fact that we at least did get a good break and a good confirmation. I'm surprised. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We're not talking about back then. I have no idea. Maybe it was earnings or something. Whatever. I think the 100 is going to hold. I think 1020 is probably going to be the low side. Hopefully, this thing actually does break that 1450 number. Hopefully, this thing actually starts to peak into 1550-ish. And then, man, it might be a quick run to 20. All right. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Thank you so much.